So in this video, we're gonna have to get to the bottom of the real reason why Mark Jackson will not be calling games for MSG when Walt Clyde Frazier can't make the road trips. There's a lot of rumors talking about a ban from a plane, ban from certain facilities when the Knicks travel on the road. Well, we're gonna get to the bottom of all of that. So let's talk about it. Yes, welcome to the channel. I am the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. You know the vibes. And so thank you for rocking with me. We're going to be talking about this Mark Jackson situation. But before we do that, definitely take the time to hit that subscribe button and the bell button so you can stay up to date with what the channel has going forward. Now, Mark Jackson, first off, I'm going to start off by saying salute to Mark Jackson, man. Once a Knick, always a Knick. You know we always show love to the Knicks, baby. Especially the old times Knicks, 90s Knicks, representing, holding it down with Patrick Ewing. Mark Jackson is a legend. He's from New York City. I mean, what more can I say? So I'm always going to support the guys that play with the Knicks, especially if you're from New York City, Kings County, Queens County, representing, doing the thing. And so I was happy to hear that Mark Jackson was going to be considered. Even Jeff Van Gundy, they said, former coach of the Knicks. But for whatever reason, it didn't manifest, and things were quiet for a while. Now, so let's jump into research mode. I'm going to talk about what was reported initially by the New York Post, but I'm going to go with a secondary source on this one. Mark Jackson out as MSG broadcaster after Knicks bar him from playing per report. So that's what the report said. I do have the New York Post article here too, but I'm gonna start with this article because it has a quote here that I think that we all need to consider. It said that former ESPN analyst Mark Jackson, also former New York Knicks player from back in the day, will not broadcast Knicks games for MSG Network after the team banned them from the plane, hotel, bus. Right, and this is according to Andrew Marchand, his reports. Salute to him. I'm not sure how true this is, but he's reporting it, so he's the source of this, right? Now, here's what the MSG spokesperson said. We weren't able to work something out this season. Now, hold on to that because we're going to really crack the code, right? Now, Jackson was laid off from ESPN in the summer and was set to help fill in during Knicks road games as the color commentator when Walt Clyde Frazier had the night off. However, Knicks president Leon Rose shut that down over an old feud between Jackson and Knicks assistant coach. So before we continue the video, be sure to check out the hottest Knicks podcast on the net. We cover the Knicks 365, 7 days a week. You give me 50 minutes, I give you the Knicks. And we drop new episodes every single Monday. You can catch it right here on the YouTube channel. Sometimes we stream it live. Most of the times it's pre-recorded. You can catch it right here Monday mornings. And you also can catch it on streaming apps, Spotify, Apple, everything. So check it out. Darren Erman. Now this is the SI, and that's coming directly from the Post, right? So let's jump into the Post. Jackson, he didn't want to respond. We're going to get into Jackson's quote. I got Jackson's actual audio quote. We're going to break that down. We're going to play that in a second. But so they're saying that in 2014, Darren Erman, who's a current Knicks assistant coach, he was with the Warriors and he was fired by Mark Jackson. So they're alleging that there's some sort of grudge there, right? Now, this is according to the Post, right? We don't have a direct statement from Erman. And you won't get a statement from Erman because the Knicks have a really good PR policy. And then, you don't want to stir the pot. I think that this story probably will die down unless some more things are reported and Jackson is going to be forced to respond. But, allegedly, ESPN reported that Erman had taped Jackson and the players unbeknownst to them. And Jackson later called Erman's action as inexcusable. So they're saying that that's part of the reason why Mark Jackson is banned from going on the plane because he and this guy Erman has a feud. I mean, listen, you could go read the New York Post article if you want to. And it has all of the full details there. I'm more concerned as to what the real reason why Mark Jackson has been, relieved of his duties from calling games, because Walt Clyde Frazier was actually the first one to sort of leak it, when he was supposed to, because I remember Mike Breen said, oh, wow, that was supposed to be a surprise, but Walt Clyde was excited because everyone would like to see Mark Jackson get that job, and I feel like the fans, of course, we're the ones that's going to miss out because we want to see Mark Jackson in that position. So they're alleging that it comes from this beef with this head coach. This was back in 2014. They probably do have beef, but I don't know if that's the reason why he didn't get the job, because like the MSG spokesperson said, right, we weren't able to work something out this season. So let's jump into what Mark had to say.
Come on, man. Come on. At some point, the lies have got to stop.
So when he says the lies have got to stop, he's not just talking about this incident. He's talking about the history and buildup of these incidents from the past, right? So that's what he's talking about when he says, "Come on, man." That's what he's saying. So let's rock out.
The lies have got to stop. I've sat back year after year after year, listening to lies, questioning me as a man and my integrity. What I stand for, what I was raised on, has been questioned. I sat back and didn't say anything.
Yeah, so he's not just talking about this situation.
My guy, the coach, the legend, Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, has a great quote that I listened to just recently. He said he lost the address to the high road. I'm not there yet.
So this is where I said that Mark might, this story has the potential to linger on because Mark may want to address future things that may be said by this reporter or other reporters.
But I'm getting closer because there's a side of me that's fed up, that's upset that you keep on smearing my name. Today a report came out that I was fired or dismissed from calling Knicks games. Honored and privileged to have an offer bestowed upon me to back up the legend, Walt Clyde.
So right there, he was honored to have the position be offered to him. And if we go back to the article here, it says that he was considered for the job, but with the exact quote from the MSG spokesman said, we weren't able to work something out this season. Very consistent.
Calling Knicks games. Over a week ago, I turned that job down. You heard what I said. More than a week ago, I turned the job down.
So Mark's saying that he turned the job down. So, you have some discrepancy there because the New York Post is saying he lost his job after the Knicks banned him from the plane. He's saying that he turned the job down, and the MSG spokesperson said we weren't able to work something out. So you have two of the people that's involved in the scenario, the MSG spokesperson, and you have Mark Jackson, who was the guy that was considered for the job. They're both, what Dad just said seems to go together, right? It doesn't conflict.
Due to the fact that it wasn't the ideal conditions and it wasn't the ideal time for me. You never know what the future holds. They say once a Knick, always a Knick. I bleed.
Wasn't the ideal conditions. Weren't able to work something out this season.
A side of me, blue and orange. I dreamt of playing for the Knicks. I dreamt of calling games for the Knicks. It would have been a dream accomplished. It just didn't work out.
So we're gonna pause it there. So he said that you never know what the future holds. So there's a potential for him to come back next year. Now, of course, that could just be PR talk too. Let's keep it, classy. But at the same time, I'm gonna go with the Premier because I believe that there is an opportunity in the future for these two to work together. I mean, a lot can happen. So let's say it is a situation with the coach, right? The coach can be fired, or the coach can be, a lot of times coaches change hands. Let's say they don't renew Coach Tibbs' contract, which I do think they should renew Coach Tibbs' contract, but that's a whole nother story. If you guys want to debate that, we can debate that. But there's a lot of things that can happen if this is even the case. I think that what Mark Jackson said, being that it's consistent with the statement from the spokesperson, I just think that the timing wasn't right. But he said that I bleed blue and orange. It's orange and blue, but we rock with the blue and orange too, right? And that's typically how we say it. But Mark Jackson loves the Knicks. He still supports the Knicks. So I don't want to see Knicks fans giving any backlash because the man himself is not giving any backlash. Does that make sense?
I give the reporter credit. 4 calls yesterday from reporters trying to get a quote from me. I did not respond because I don't play that game. I let it alone, thinking that it'll die and nobody will know what happened. But over a week ago, I turned the job down.
So the dream didn't work out. So he's a lifelong Knick in terms of he's a fan, he's a supporter of the organization. So I that's why I give Mark Jackson support, because he gives the Knicks support, and he even tries to give credit to the reporter.
Forever grateful, and again, you never know what the future holds. But I want to thank you. Blessings.
So he doubled down on his statement, and I think that is the truth. He turned the job down. What more do you want from Mark? I mean, I think that he seems to be honorable in this scenario, and the MSG spokesperson pretty much said the same thing. So why do we got to have that sensation? And I'm not picking on the guy from the Post. He may be telling the 100% truth. He may have all the credibility in the world in terms of he did his job as a journalist writing the article, but at the same time, me being a new media content creator in this scenario, I'm weighing all the odds, and I'm saying, well, Mark put out his statement, MSG put out their statement, it goes hand in hand. I don't need to know about the coach in 2015 and what happened then. That's just too messy for me, man, because the sad part is we don't get Mark to coach. We want the headlines and the clicks, and I understand that, but at the same time, I'm riding with Mark, and the Knicks, they just say they couldn't get the job done. Now, whether it has anything to do with the coach, I don't know about that. We have the reports, and we could just go with what the reports say. Salute to Mark Jackson. Definitely. I applaud him for wanting to be a part of the Knicks movement as a commentator. His voice still, holds weight, and I hope he gets another position to really display his talents. I think he's one of the most talented former player, analyst, broadcasters out there. So this is the real reason. I mean, I don't care for all the other stuff. It's possible that, the whole assistant coach thing and firing and all of that. But at the same time, I'm going with what makes, logical sense based off of the evidence that we have in front of us that it just wasn't the right time. Thank you for checking out the video. Definitely subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so you get all your notifications, and then like the video so more cool people can check out the video. We got the podcast this week inside the NYK Twin K podcast. You catch it every Monday right here on this YouTube channel. Look for it on all podcast streaming apps. Definitely check out the shop as well. We got shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. Get all your merch. If you want to also support, you could also send a Cash App to The Objective Fan. If you want to send the channel some love. But thank you. We just hit 500 subscribers. I'm jumping the gun 700. And I just want to take the time to thank you guys for helping me cross that platform. I do appreciate all the support. So that's all for this video. And until next time, let's go Knicks.